Making YouTube videos is one of my favorite things to do, and it's really frustrating when I just can't seem to find the time for it. It wasn't always like this, when I started, it was during the pandemic. I had all the time in the world, there's nothing else to do. So at that time I was making videos like sometimes even twice a week, but at least once a week. When the world started back up, I started dancing again. I started dating my partner. I mean, these are all good things, right? It's just like I couldn't find as much time to do YouTube, and also the dog, right? The dog came in last year. Another part of the problem was just my expectations. After making YouTube videos for 5 years, don't feel like I accomplished all that much, and now that I have no time to do anything, it's even more frustrating. It made me not want to do YouTube. Not doing YouTube also makes me sad. I like YouTube. I like sharing knowledge. I like making videos. What can I say, right? I think what it comes down to is having better time management. Like, I really like the idea of doing a little bit every day to make progress. So I had this item on my to-do list where it's like, oh, make video for 30 minutes a day, and maybe by the end of a month you can produce a single video. It really wasn't working. It was too abstract. You can't just make a video for 30 minutes. What does it even mean, right? Like, so recently I've been exploring this idea of time blocking. Time blocking is a way of structuring your day into blocks. It's not fully related to video making. It is, however, helping me produce these videos, because the beautiful thing about time blocks is it forces you to just be satisfied with whatever you produce in that time. Sometimes you have to set deadlines for you to move on with things. Time blocking stops working well when you don't respect the time blocks. And that happens not because you don't have discipline. Well, okay, you might be procrastinating, but at least in my case, I don't respect time blocks because I'm not done at the end of a half-hour block. I want to make the best video ever. I want to exceed expectations. So if I'm not done, I want to keep going. For example, if I was only scheduled to do an hour of video making today, and I end up taking 4 hours on it. What does that mean for the rest of your day, right? Like, you have to sacrifice something, but we don't want to sacrifice anything. I still want to go hang out with my friends. I still want to go dance. I still want to spend time with my partner. So then maybe you end up pushing everything back and sacrificing sleep. And then you will wake up the next day very groggy, and then your schedule goes to shit the following day. There is always a trade-off. When you disrespect the time blocks, you end up sacrificing something down the line. And this is particularly bad if the thing you're sacrificing is sleep. At some point, you're just going to become sleep deprived and you stop doing anything at all. Your entire day goes to waste because you're so tired and demotivated. One of the ways you can fight back against disrespecting your time blocks is to realize the payoff doesn't have to be at the end of the project. There's no rush to get things done. Every step of the way deserves some amount of celebration. The other day I had this time block to go to the gym for an hour, and for whatever reason I got there a little late into the time block, and I had a choice to make. I can either do the full hour, which would put me half an hour behind schedule, or I can just do 30 minutes and cut it short. I didn't like cutting my workout short, so I had to drive 15 minutes just to get there. It feels a bit like a waste. It feels like I'm undisciplined. But, half an hour of workout can still mean a lot. You can still spike your heart rate up to 180. You can burn 250 calories, and it maybe even forces you to work a little harder because you know that you don't have as much time. But respecting the time blocks means that, yes, you don't have time to do the full hour because you messed up. Toshi, stop eating the roots. And that's okay. Don't punish yourself, just celebrate the half hour that you do have. Having discipline is important, but I don't think it's as important as having excitement. Sometimes discipline follows excitement. I see time blocks as a way to train yourself to become more excited about the in-between moments. Another way to get excited is just to be surprised. When you plan out everything too well, when you do everything to perfection, sometimes it loses a little bit of that luster. Back to the YouTube example, you could just be making a video where you don't feel like you're putting in a lot of extra effort, but then it blows up on YouTube. Not that it matters that much, but it's a surprise, right? And surprises keep you going. Surprises are like, whoa, I didn't realize I could even do that. So time blocks aren't as much about coming up with a perfect plan. It's more about just creating these little moments that don't feel like much, and then fulfilling these moments, and maybe it will lead to some unexpected results. When you're time blocking, don't plan more than one day ahead. Part of excitement is really about leaving room for daydreaming, leaving room for surprise. I don't want my entire week to be figured out for me. I time block at the end of every day. I call it vibe scheduling, just based off of vibes. And even when I time block a single day, I don't fill up every hour. I leave these 30-minute to 1-hour gaps in between. Toshi, stop biting my feet. Just to give myself a little bit more flexibility, a little bit more space to dream in the day. And it works out really well for me. The last unexpected benefit from time blocking was when I realized you now have somewhat of a record of how much effort you put into what you do. Like YouTube videos, right? I know that my last 2 videos took me exactly 5 hours to make, from filming to editing to making the thumbnail and to publishing. And then you can use that information to your advantage. Knowing that this is what 5 hours can produce, you'll have a more realistic expectation of what a project of a certain caliber might take. This is really good for maintaining your excitement, because if you know you can only spare 5 hours a week, this is the best possible result you can hope for during this period of your life. And you can be happy with that. Like, if you really wanted to spend 20 hours a week on making YouTube videos, then quit your job, right? Like, there's always trade-off. But if you're not willing to make that trade-off and you don't want to feel disappointed, then you have to be really realistic about exactly how long things take. Time blocking gives you that perspective. I've reached the end of my current time block, and a part of me feels like I was rambling for a bit, and I kind of want to go back and refilm the whole thing. But that will require another time block. I could do that, or I could not, and I could just roll with it. I think I'm gonna roll with it, because I'm just excited to share this newfound insight with you all. And I think if I have to redo this video just to repeat the same information in a slightly less rambly way, that would make me less excited. The key point of learning to respect the time blocks is that this is the best possible result you can make in this amount of time, and you've only allocated this amount of time to it, so be proud of it. I'm just so happy I finally figured out how to make time blocks work for me. I feel adequate. I feel so much more content when I'm using time blocks in this way. I will report back in a month, and maybe I'll have some new insights to share. Ta-da!